Hi, hello everyone. Welcome to this class on biochemistry. So we're dealing today with fat metabolism. Today's lesson is on introduction and basics of fat metabolism. We have different videos, upcoming video lectures on phospholipids, lipid transport system, cholesterol metabolism, fatty acid synthesis, and beta oxidation pathways, and ketogenesis, etc. But for this video, I've kept these videos very short, 15 to 20 minutes, as it you won't get bored. So in this first lesson, I will be discussing about basics of the fat metabolism. So let us try to understand what is the difference between saturated fatty acid and unsaturated fatty acid. Saturated fatty acids, if you can recall your chemistry properly, whenever there is a double bond in any chemical structure, we call it as an unsaturated fatty acid. Whenever there is no double bond, we call it as an saturated fatty acid. Observe this picture here. You can observe there is a double bond there where the arrow is coming up, which is an unsaturated fatty because there is a double bond that is present there. You observe the picture that is below. There is no double bond in the entire chemical structure. Of course, there is a double bond that is between oxygen and carbon, but not between the two carbon atoms. So this is a saturated fatty acids. Let us try to understand the clinical significance of this saturated and unsaturated fatty acids. Saturated fatty acids which don't contain double bond and solids at room temperature. On consumption of this saturated fatty acids, these saturated fatty acids increase the total cholesterol levels, LDL cholesterol, and thus they increase the risk of coronary artery disease. They also increase the risk of colonic and prostatic cancers. Palmitic acid is one of the examples. Mainly dairy products like ghee, yogurt, etc. They contain saturated fatty acids, and in general, plants contain unsaturated fatty acids. But certain plants like coconut and palm oil also give saturated fatty acids. So on contrast to this saturated fatty acids, unsaturated fatty acids they reduce the risk of coronary artery disease. So after knowing about the saturated and unsaturated fatty acids, let us try to know about what are these alpha positions, beta positions, or 1, 2, 3, 4 positions of carbon atoms, and omega series, omega position of the carbon atoms. So this is the chemical structure of one of the fatty acids. There is a double bond, so it's an unsaturated fatty acids. Along with that, so if you can observe here in this slide, this is the methyl end. This is the methyl end of the fatty acid. This is the carboxyl end of the fatty acids. Generally, we count the carbon atoms from this carboxyl end. From this carboxyl end, we count the carbon atoms. So this should be the first carbon atom. This should be the So this should be the first carbon atom. This should be the second carbon atom. This is This is the third carbon atom. This is the fourth carbon atom. And the last carbon atom which you are observing, this is the methyl end. That would be called as the end of the fatty acid chain. Would be a omega position. So we count omega position from here. This is the first omega position. This is the second omega position. This is the third omega position. Whenever there is a double bond at this third position, we call it as omega 3. Now, just like tell me where is the double bond here. When you observe the double bond that is present here, the double bond is present 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Double bond is present at the 6th omega carbon. So this comes under omega 6 series. And another double bond is present at 9th carbon. So this comes under omega 6 and omega 9 series. So as I said, the first carbon atom would be the alpha carbon atom. The second carbon atom would be the beta. The third would be the gamma, and the fourth. So as I already said, this is the 6th double bond that is present there. This thing, okay. So after understanding about the saturated and unsaturated fatty acids, after understanding the omega series, After understanding the alpha, beta and gamma series, let us try to learn regarding the cis and trans positions. Just recall your intermediate chemistry again. What is a cis position? What is a trans position? Whenever the two carbon atoms are towards we take a double bond as a standard structure. At the double bond, we have two carbon atoms. When the two carbon atoms are towards the same side, then we call it as a cis isomer. If the two carbon atoms at the double bond, after the double bond are towards the opposite sides, then we call it trans isomer. So you observe this, when you observe this picture here, the one on your left side, what is this? Guess the picture there. That's a trans isomer, because you can observe that these carbon atoms present here are on the opposite sides of the double bond. Whereas here on the right side, the carbon atoms at the double bonds are towards the same side. So this is a cis isomer, this is a trans isomer. So again, going on to the significance of what is this cis and trans isomers. Trans isomers behave as saturated fatty acids. So the first topic which we have discussed earlier is a saturated fatty acids. Saturated fatty acids increase the risk of coronary artery disease. In a similar manner, even though there is a double bond, if there is a double bond, we call it as an unsaturated fatty acids. But even though there is a double bond, if the isomer is a trans isomer, then it behaves in a manner of saturated fatty acid. Normally, when we take, we have already discussed like most of the plant oils are unsaturated fatty acids, but commercially, to increase the shelf life of these vegetable oils, they do a process known as hydrogenation to preserve these fatty acids, unsaturated fatty acids. Whenever you do hydrogenation, this hydrogenation converts the cis bond that is present into a trans bond. So cis isomer is converted into a trans isomer, in a way paving a way towards a risk of coronary artery disease. These trans isomers, they rise the levels of triacylglycerol and LDL cholesterol. Whenever the triacylglycerol and LDL cholesterol levels are raised, this would increase the risk of coronary artery disease. So let us go ahead and touch the topic on essential fatty acids. These are the 5 essential fatty acids which are required for our body: linoleic acid, linolenic acid, arachidonic acid, eicosapentaenoic acid, docosahexaenoic acid. Linoleic acid is most important fatty acid that is required, which comes under omega-3 series. Omega-3 double bond is present at the omega-3 end. Most of these fatty acids are not synthesized in our body; they should be procured from outside. And docosahexaenoic acid is an exclusive fatty acid that is present in the breast milk. And arachidonic acid is one of the very important essential fatty acids that is required for the production of prostaglandins and thromboxans. So this is about this. So before we close this video, let us try to do few questions. First question: which among the following is a cardioprotective fatty acid? As we have already discussed, among all these options, palmitic acid, stearic acid, oleic acid, omega-3 fatty acid, omega-3 fatty acid is the cardioprotective. The answer is omega-3 fatty acid. Question number 2, truth statement about the fatty acids. First option, polyunsaturated fatty acid is essential for membrane structure, which is a true statement. Biologically, arachidonic acid is essential for life. Yes, because arachidonic acid is the precursor of most of the prostaglandins and thromboxans. Hydrogenated vegetable oils contain trans fatty acids. Yes, because of hydrogenation, cis bond is converted into a trans bond. Most of the naturally occurring unsaturated fatty acids exist as trans isomer, which is not true. Naturally occurring unsaturated fatty acids procured from plants are mostly cis isomers. So the answer is 1, 2 and 3. All the 3 are right answers. So moving on to the question number 3, false about trans fatty acids. Option 1, increase the risk of cardiovascular disease. Yes, trans fatty acids increase the cardiovascular disease. It's true, it is not false. Fried food contains high trans fatty acids. Yes, fried foods have very high content of trans fatty acids. Hydrogenation increases trans fatty acids. Yes, because to increase the shelf life we do hydrogenation. Hydrogenation increases trans fatty acids. Hydrogenation decreases, which is a false statement. It increases LDL and decreases HDL. Yes, true. So the false statement among all this is the fourth one. Hydrogenation decreases trans fatty acids. Moving on to the fourth question. The most essential fatty acid: linoleic, linolenic, arachidonic and palmitic acid. Answer is obvious. Linoleic acid is the most essential fatty acid. Don't get confused with arachidonic acid. Arachidonic acid synthesizes prostaglandins and thromboxanes, etc. But linoleic acid is the omega-3 fatty acid, which is essential fatty acid for the human. Fifth question. Which of the following is found exclusively in the breast milk? I've already discussed linoleic, linolenic, palmitic, docosahexaenoic acid. DHA, docosahexaenoic acid, is also called as DHA, which is very much essential for the brain growth of the infants. So DHA is exclusively found in the breast milk. So the answer is DHA. Thank you very much for watching this video. Hope it was useful. Do watch the remaining lecture series. This will make you very much strong in whatever for all the exams you are preparing. Thank you. Bye bye for now.